And there
we go. You're confirmed now.
Thank you, Aaron. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our bi-weekly College Council meeting. My name is Ricky Shabazz. I have the honor and privilege of being the president of the Great City College. Joining me in what is the game show with all the squares, celebrity squares? Joining me in our virtual reality is the leaders, or are the leaders rather, of all of the constituency groups at San Diego City College. San Diego City College is a participatory governance structure. At least we have one where we value the input from all of our campus leaders and our faculty, classified professionals, supervisors, managers, students. So we meet. I need to drink some water. I apologize. We meet bi-weekly to go over the college's governance and make decisions, whether it range from business to new programs. And this is an opportunity to keep folks both virtually via YouTube updated. Anybody can put forth an agenda item for College Council for either a presentation, discussion, or a vote. You do so by reaching out to your candidate introduced momentarily as a roll call, or by emailing Aaron or myself and requesting that an item be placed on the agenda. We would be happy to receive an item and be able to discuss it further. Let me share the screen so that I can introduce my colleagues. If you could unmute yourself when I introduce you. Again, my name is Ricky Shabazz. I'm the president of San Diego City College. Paul Alexander, president Academic Senate.
He'll be joining us in a few.
Thanks, Nadia. Tilly Chavez, vice president of instruction.
Present.
Aaron Deddy, administrative representative.
Present.
Robbie Ewell, one of our great deans and the chair of institutional technology.
Present.
Caesar, the public information officer.
I'm here.
And thank you, Caesar. Great job, you and Luke, and everyone who attended the holiday party. Had more fun than I ever had. Nadia, love seeing your pet and everyone's pet. Thank you, Caesar. Dr. Jocelyn Hill, supervisory representative.
Present.
Nadia, the president of the Chairs of Chairs, or Chairs Cabinet.
Present.
Josh, our ASG Government Affairs Officer.
Present.
Josh, man, you are my hero. This is like 4 or 5 meetings in a row. I can't tell you how excited I am that the students are represented. Dr. Susan Murray, Dean Institutional Effectiveness.
Present.
Dr. Masa Omai.
Present.
Elect.
I'm here.
Hey, you know what? Did I say your last name right, Masa?
Yes.
Yes. I've heard so many people say it different. I think I have a mental block now. Good to see you. Dr. John Parker, Vice President, Administrative Services.
Present.
John Ryan, Vice President of Classified Senate.
Hi, everyone. I'm present.
Denise Wisenhunt, Vice President of Students. Though she'll be joining us at some point. I believe I've called everyone's name. I'd like to take a motion for approval of the minutes from November 17th.
This is Sean. Motion to approve.
Thank you, Sean. Is there a second?
This is Rob, second.
Thank you, Robbie. All in favor of approving any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the meeting notes, indicate by just raising your hand. I'm watching, there's some, if you want to raise your virtual hand because you're off screen, that's fine also. Anyone want to abstain and or be opposed to approving the meeting notes? And for those of you watching via YouTube, the meeting notes are uploaded into our constituency web page that talks about campus leadership and committees. So you're able to see the meeting notes from College Council, as well as a lot of other committees that we have at San Diego City College. We have a fairly aggressive agenda. Let me provide an overview because we have some items today to vote on, and we have some items that are informational. And what I would like to do is modify the agenda a little bit and take the voting items first and then come back to the updates if that is okay with the group. And so, well, we always begin with a presentation. So we'll start with the presentation in the interest of time. We have the dynamic outreach team under the leadership of our Associate Dean, Genevieve, and our amazing outreach coordinator, Luke. They are killing it. They'll be our first presentation. And then what we will do, actually looks like we'll be fine. The proposal to rename the Child Development Center will be presented. It says Tilly, but I believe Berta is joining us. Dr. Murray will go over the AACC-JC midterm report. That is a voting item. Number 5, we'll skip over until later. That is not a voting matter, that is an update. Number 6, though, is a voting matter. Denise and I believe Dr. Sanchez and Roberto will be providing an update for voting, an overview rather, for voting on the HSI STEM grant concept that we're looking to bring an additional millions of dollars to our great college. Number 7, update on the block grant is an update. Jeannie Tyler will provide an update on KSDS. And then we'll have a roundtable. So we'll move a couple of things so that the voting items appear first, and then we'll come back to the updates. But what I would like to do now is introduce our colleagues from the outreach team, to include the marketing team of Caesar, Kim, to provide an update on enrollment and marketing for intercession in spring. So Genevieve, the floor, shall I turn it over to you or Caesar, who is leading?
Go ahead, Denise.
Caesar said he wants to go first, so we'll let Caesar go first.
Great.
All right, cool. Let me share my screen here. All right, and here's an overview of what our office is doing for our spring 2021 recruitment and marketing. So just some quick information about the current campaign, our spring budget and run dates, where we spend 33 grand for spring. And we put most of our budget into digital, which from previous campaigns, we found that to be most effective. And then we also purchased some out-of-home billboards in Southeast San Diego. The digital advertising includes Google search and marketing, Instagram ads, and mobile and display ads, and additional efforts on top of the purchase ad buys is also specific spring landing pages. We did both in English and Spanish. Social media promotion, working with outreach with social media advertising, and then also targeted emails to students. And I just wanted to give you some examples of what our current marketing artwork is. And so here are some examples of our digital ads. Kim's been cranking these out. We have a bunch of different, if you guys know anything about digital ads, there's different sizes for different platforms. And so Kim's been cranking these out for our digital ad buys. And so we both have ads in English and Spanish. And then these ads also link to our splash pages or landing pages. Here's an example of our out-of-home billboard, which are in Southeast San Diego and around our service area. And we also use the tagline, "We are here for you," which is similar to the banners we have around campus currently. Here are examples of our landing pages. We have both for English and Spanish. And so it'll be nice to see, once our campaign is done, to track all the hits for each of those pages. And then here are our Instagram videos, which I will play. So the programs that that were chosen for the videos and for our work, we worked with the VPs and faculty members to select which programs we wanted to promote for this spring campaign. So that is it for my area, and I'll hand it over to Genevieve.
Awesome. Thank you, Caesar. So just a quick update on our outreach efforts, and recruitment efforts for spring. Luke's going to go into a little bit more detail, and I think he's going to put up some slides that he'll be putting up. But our outreach team has been doing an amazing job under Luke's leadership. He's been here for about a year and a half and hit the ground running and really kind of brought us into a new space, spaces that we haven't been before. And one of those spaces that we really, tried to focus on is to connect with the folks who are connecting with our potential students. And so one of the things that we've been doing, and that's come from the outreach office, is the outreach newsletters. If you've been checking your emails, you've been seeing some of the newsletters that he sends out to the campus community. They have a lot of great information, and those newsletters also slightly altered, but they also go out to our high school partners, our community partners, and this week we're also starting to send a special one just for our CE partners. So really, looking at outreach and recruitment through the lens of the people who are helping our potential students get to us. So that's really exciting. We've also done a lot of work. He's also done a lot of work with connecting and collaborating our student ambassadors, our outreach ambassadors, with our peer mentors, and really kind of taking those two groups and having them help each other as they help students get into the college, complete the matriculation process, but then also helping on the retention side. And that's I know that's something that's big for our college, and that Denise always reminds us to think about when we're helping our students, is how do we retain them. And so energizing our peer mentor lab and our student ambassadors to start thinking about that and putting on videos and workshops and tools that students can access through our YouTube page at whatever time they need. And so everything the outreach office has been doing has been, recorded on a Zoom. Everything that the peer mentor labs have been doing in terms of workshops have also been recorded on a Zoom. And so they end up on a website, on our YouTube page, and then they live on forever. And what we've seen is that we're getting a lot more engagement after the fact, right? And so it's a really great way we've been able to engage with our students, potential students, and our community members, and something that I think that had we not found ourselves in this pandemic, that we may not have stumbled upon and been so successful in. So some really amazing and great things that are coming out of outreach. So just wanted to kind of provide, a little bit of that context, and then I'll pass it to Luke to give you some more information about some specifics that we're doing for spring.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dean Esquer, and a huge thank you and a big shout out to our administration, Dr. Shabazz, Vice President Wisenhunt, Chavez, and even our brand new Dr. Parker as well. So thank you all so much for providing a pathway for us to reach our students. And, just like the majority of the other, outreach programs in the area, we're experiencing challenges, but we're meeting those challenges head on and trying to adapt as we kind of go through. One example is that we've been holding sessions, and we've really seen the increase of students willing to engage in the chat. So we put tons of resources and effort into normalizing the feeling of chatting with our staff, and it's actually paid huge dividends for us in our outreach services, et cetera, and making sure that students really feel comfortable in coming into our environment. And essentially, we're going to their environment. It's a very personal thing. It's not just stepping foot on campus. Essentially, it's stepping foot in their home. And we're trying to normalize that feeling to make sure that they feel comfortable, that they feel safe, that they can open up about the enrollment process, about getting started at City and being supported by City. So we'll go ahead and dive in to kind of what we're doing doing for our institution. So a couple of things, social media is popping right now for the outreach office. On a regular basis, we are sending, not just posting our flyer, but we're sending direct messages to specific programs, services, whether it be like continuing education, pillars of the community, the Jacob Center, and the list goes on and on. We have a huge list of folks that we regularly send messages to and interact with. And it's actually been a huge thing for us to build new partnerships in this era. And some of them are actually sharing our content and our flyers with their students. We've seen our followers and interactions grow. And it's definitely been great. On top of that, instead of just like posting a flyer, we're also adding folks, atting them, I should say, and tagging people in our social media posts, which actually creates more visibility for us, and they'll get a notification letting them know, hey, like this person mentioned you in their post. So that's definitely been huge for us. Although it does take a lot more effort than just posting an image or a flyer or a video, we have seen a lot of interactions come from that. Beyond that, one modality that we've seen increase dramatically is the idea of direct messages to our outreach office, as well as students commenting in our post. On a daily basis, we get messages from students, hey, how do I do this? Or how can I get help with this? Or hey, I can't reach this, or I can't do this. It has been huge for us, and we really had to put a lot of effort into ensuring that we're meeting students, because essentially when they're slipping through and sliding through their social media feed and they come across San Diego City College and they have the urge to get help with something, we want to be there to meet them. And that's why we're having to reach them, not where we're at. We're going to reach them where they're at. And that's really been a huge thing for us. So social media has been a big thing that we're working on right now. Beyond that, Dean Scarra touched on the idea of our monthly email newsletter. Beyond that, we wanted to take it to a next level. Like you, we get lots of emails on a daily basis. So everything we send out, we try to send a video to essentially summarize it and even get people excited about what we're doing, whether it be important dates, programs, services, events, how we can support. It's definitely really important. And like I said, looking back, we're coming into people's homes, essentially, right, virtually. So we want them to become familiar with our staff, program, services, so they feel okay about taking that step to connect with San Diego City College. In regards to content delivery, we put a lot of this information in the body of the email. But one thing that's really we've seen that's actually worked really well for us is delivering this newsletter in like a PDF. So it's easy to share or to post somewhere or to just share a link. So that's been a huge thing for us in regards to our newsletter. And it's really taken off. I think for our high schools, we've really expanded our reach and gone into a lot of private institutions, which has been great for us. And they're starting to get on the idea and comparing us to other outreach programs, like, hey, how come they're not doing this? Or, hey, this is great. I've never seen an outreach program do this. So we're really trying to take those steps to reach folks. And we feel the newsletter has definitely been great, and not only providing the information, but honestly resources. So it's not just, hey, this is what's going on. There's a video to explain it. There's a link to jump into the session. And there's also a link to a flyer that they can download so they can promote, making the job easier for them when they're taking those steps to really support us too, right? The next thing I want to talk about is campus communication. This is an area I wanted to improve greatly. I mean, I can recall a couple of instances where Professor Sean Bacon reached out to me and said, hey, Luke, how can I support someone? Or Megan reaching out, or Dr. Hill reaching out, hey, how can I get them connected with outreach, whatever. So we really tried to take that step to ensure that you all understand how we can support students. And with that, we did do a campus blast. So we'll have another one coming up pretty quick. But essentially, we did a YouTube video to kind of go along with the email. So I'll go ahead and drop that in the chat on YouTube so you can check that out if you haven't done so. It explains how to get an appointment with us. We have an outreach team or outreach and community relations team, I should say, that is readily available to support students with anything they need in regards to the enrollment process. Even if we can't help them specifically, we can help facilitate that warm handoff to ensure they have the ultimate student experience here at San Diego City College. The next thing I want to talk about is our applied students. On a weekly basis, we get a list of applied students. And for some, it might be good enough. Okay, they applied. Good job. Good luck. We don't do that. We actually reach out to them intentionally to ensure that, okay, this is your next step. This is how we can support you. Here's some programs we can get you. Here's a phone number that can help you with the next steps. And this has been a huge thing for us. We actually, a big shout out to Dean Marciano Perez. We actually developed a brand new, as an expansion to our Get Connected survey, which connects students to our on-campus programs and services. We actually developed a new clubs and orgs survey for students to fill out, to not only get connected to our professionals, but to connect it to our student organizations. And a big shout out to Josh in this room. He actually led that charge. So big thank you to Josh, our outreach ambassador, doing double duty on campus. But it's been amazing. And it's something that not a lot of really at all campuses are doing. Often when I speak about it, you see people taking notes. Oh, I want to take that idea. So it's definitely been great for us in providing this service to make sure that they're connected, that they have a belonging to our campus. So this has been awesome. The next thing I want to talk about our city outline, our hotline, I should say. And really, we're taking calls. I think in the past couple of days, we received like over 60 calls, over 60 interactions, whether it be email, text, Zoom appointments. So the outreach and community relations area is killing it. And they're doing a tremendous job, and they're meeting the challenge on with unconditional positive regard, making sure students feel supported, safe in our environment. Really, it's been really impactful. And I really want to thank all the professionals, honestly, Megan, Dr. Hill, all the different offices and programs, Marciano Perez, coming out and training our staff, bringing the content expert to make sure that our staff know how to navigate general counseling, everyone. It's been tremendous, folks, and it's been a powerful time. This happens on Wednesdays from 10 to 11. So I want to give a plug also. If you want to come and share about your office, program, service, anything like that, we would love to have you come out and share with the outreach team. And it's also expanding too. We have some different offices like DSPS that have been sending staff here, and assessment, different things like that. So if you have staff that you want to learn a little bit more about City, this could be a great way. And it's really been an awesome thing because it's provided us with the skill and the insight to not just like, hey, let me figure out what that is, but essentially knowing the answer. And we have this thing called City Support Now, where it's the idea like, we're not going to schedule an appointment. Let me take that excitement. Let me take that momentum and what you have right now, and let me help you immediately with what you're doing. And that's really the mindset behind of what we're doing. We want to capture that and make sure that they're being supported, not just scheduling an appointment for a week down the road, but trying to help them in that moment. Because what we found is around 90% of the things to get going at San Diego City College can be done in that moment. And that's something we're really, really passionate about and executing. Last but not least, I want to share a big program that we actually ran. It actually went out this morning. We've had some amazing feedback. We actually having a meeting with one of the professionals at San Diego Continuing Ed and talking about our pathways from their CE programs that directly feed into our degrees here at San Diego City College. I was like, okay, how can we take advantage of this? How can we reach out to these folks? So we got a huge list, all the offices, all the programs that are offering and use this connection. Every single support office on that campus, we reached out to them. And I've had several requests this morning for us to come out, do workshops, partner, and do all these things. So we're really excited about this connection to San Diego Continuing Ed. And it's been a huge thing for us just in the past few hours of when we sent that out. So the outreach office has been working extremely hard. It's a challenge right now with having live events, but we've really had to adapt in the way we delivered content. But we have an amazing team in the outreach and community relations area. We're doing our best to kind of meet students where they're at, and we definitely appreciate everyone's support. And we're going to continue to work and to grind and to get it going. And I would say, I believe that's it for us. So thank you.
Well, Luke, thank you, and Genevieve and Caesar and Victor and Kim and the entire enrollment management team. I have to just acknowledge one that hiring Genevieve was a great addition to the college, and then Genevieve turning around and hiring Luke really took our outreach team to the next level under the leadership of our wonderful vice president of student services, Denise Wisenhun. This is the best outreach team that I've ever seen, and I've worked at 5 different colleges. Very impressive. Any questions for either Luke, Genevieve, or Caesar about or thoughts of things we should be doing that you may want to present to them? Well, hearing none, please just join me in a round of applause for showing appreciation. Oh, Dr. Hill.
Yes, I don't have anything I would like to add to them. I just really want to show my appreciation to them. The outreach team, I can't echo enough all that you said. They bring us our students, and without them, we would not be so proud to be part of City College. And I'm just so indebted to them because Luke and he comes to our office and just comes with that customer spirit and that city love, and he embeds it wherever he goes. And I've had the opportunity for him to come and talk to our frontline folks, and it's just been amazing. The support now, I think, is amazing trend that we all should focus on, and I just really want to continue to embed that. We need to meet them where they are, and it's right now. So thank you, Luke. Thank you, Genevieve, and Caesar and Kim and all of you and all the administrators. I think City is amazing.
Thanks, Dr. Hill. And I echo that sentiment. Luke is a model for providing high-level, high-touch engagement, customer service. I'd want to register at City College I was speaking to someone in the community the other day, and he didn't know Luke's name, but he said, "Yeah, you got that guy over there. He comes in, and everybody wants to register for City College." So thank you, Luke. Any other thoughts? Comments for the good of the order?
Dr. Shabazz?
Yes, Josh.
Yeah, I also want to just shout out to Luke. I have the opportunity to work with him, and he has taught me a lot and showed me how to use my voice. And it's more than a job that I see it as actually an additional learning an additional learning experience on top of all the learning that I get from attending City College. So I want to thank Luke for all the amazing work that he has done.
Absolutely. Thanks, Josh. Yes, Denise, you're muted.
I also like to echo the phenomenal work that is happening in outreach and marketing. It's amazing, and it is because of the good leadership of Genevieve as well as Luke, Caesar, Kim. The meetings are so powerful. They are amazing. And, the four-year institutions have a lot to learn with what's happening at this community college. And the key is how much they care about the community. So it's an honor to work with all of you because you're exceptional.
Thanks, Denise. Any other comments for the good of the order? Well, I'm going to just go out on a limb, and people get a little nervous when I say I'm going to go out on a limb and say it here because I want it to be captured in the notes. I am absolutely confident and willing to do anything in my power because Luke and Genevieve are going to go on and be deans and vice presidents and presidents of colleges. That's how good these folks are. And you see it at this level. And Denise said something earlier that I just want to echo. When someone masters their job, you recognize it, and that propels them to the next level. And when you look that up, you see a picture of both Genevieve and Luke. And I can't even say enough about Kim. Kim is the best designer I've ever worked with. We got a team, folks. This is City College has an amazing team, and these are just some of the examples of the great people who work at our college. Thank you, Genevieve. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Caesar, for the presentation. You all enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Moving along, folks, on the agenda, next up is Berta Harris, our Director of Child Development, and she's going to be presenting a matter for vote dealing with the name change for our soon-to-be completed new Child Development Center. Berta.
Okay. Hi, everybody. So as you may have noticed, there's construction on the corner of 16th and Russ Boulevard on our campus. Currently, the Child Development Center is at 16th and B Street. We're closed now. There are no children there, which is just hard to figure out how to work when that's the situation. But we have this new center. And when the faculty was thinking about the name of the center, last January, we were really talking about signage, and we were talking about not only the room signs, but actually, what should the sign say outside of the center? What should this building be called? So Child Development faculty talked about this, and we really saw an opportunity to update the name. We saw an opportunity to better reflect what this building does. when you think of Child Development Center, you clearly know children are there and they are developing. It's a common term for a child care center. And we do provide childcare. We provide childcare for college students' children and also some community members if they qualify. But the major reason we're there is to provide a lab opportunity for the child development department. So this is really a lab school. You have a chemistry lab, you have a biology lab, you have a cosmetology lab, you have nursing. So you have many places on campus where children are, college students are doing hands-on work to become masters in their discipline or in their subject for that class. So as we thought about that, the name that resonated most with the faculty and with the current trends in our discipline is Early Education Center. So that's the name that we've been working with. That's the name that we have on the agenda here. And when you look at the new building, the very cool and exciting thing about it is that the whole second floor is devoted to college child development students. So you go up onto this balcony and each children's classroom has an observation viewing room. So college students will be able to go and observe that classroom without disrupting it. Right now in the old center, you pretty much have to walk through classrooms and get in children's way as they're doing their work to try and get your observation done. So we have nursing students that come to do observations, psychology students, human services students. So lots of people come to observe these children and now they have a space devoted to their work. So we work with child development students to help them be the best, highest quality providers of childcare and education services. So it really, I think, raises the profile of that center. We're in the business of training people to work in early care and education. And I think it will do just a lot in our community to raise the raise the esteem of the work that we do. You know, we're working with children in that building from 6 months to 5 years of age. Lots going on during that time. A lot's going on for the parents of the children of that age as well. So this new facility really provides a great space to work with the parents of those children, to work with the college students, and to work with the children themselves. So I think that's just that's the background of this Early Education Center name that you see on that building. And it really needs a new name. I did check this idea out with the other child development directors. We do have child development centers at Miramar and Mesa, and they were supportive as well. You know, they hope to have a new building at some point too, but our turn now. So that's it.
Well, thanks, Berta. I appreciate all your work and dedication in seeing this project through. Before I open it up to questions for the group, could you also speak to something that is near and dear to my heart that I believe you and Denise have discussed about once we do come back? And I agree that it's unfortunate that we're not there providing services, but once we do come back, that we plan to pilot a program or services to help students who have children study or write a paper or that sort of thing. Would you mind in a couple of minutes touching on that piece?
Yeah, we actually did complete one of those evenings, and the idea was that we would provide services for college students who needed to go to tutoring, who needed to go to math jam, who needed to get something done on the campus and they really couldn't do it because they had children. So we had one evening where they could bring children and they did not have to be, 6 months to 5 years. They could be elementary school age children as well. And it was a small group, but they really appreciated that they could then go participate in, again, math jam, or they were working with tutors on specific things that they needed to get done.
Yeah, well, thank you, Berta. Any Any questions for Berta or additional comments? This is a voting matter to approve the name change, which would then ultimately go to Chancellor's Cabinet for approval. And so we know as a college, the facilities actually belong to the district. And so that's something else to factor in as well. Any questions for Berta?
I just had one question. When was the construction completed for the Child Development Center?
Well, you mean the old one?
The new one.
The new one's due, well, not till probably January. What do you think? John Parker may have the very big big scoop on that, but it always keeps like.
I just drove by this morning. The fencing is down, the landscaping is complete. From the outside, it looks complete. So they're just working on the inside now with some plumbing and electrical, and it actually should be ready to go before break, but it looks great right now.
Thank you.
I think one of the main things we're working on now is there's a little deck with a slide that goes down into a sandbox. And we're just working with the safety measures around the deck on a little hilly area. So yeah, it's almost done.
Paul.
Yeah, I just wanted to say how excited I am to have it done and to have, you know, a facility that can kind of live up to the standards that the faculty and Berta over there are doing. You know, my wife is an instructor at Cuyamaca College, which is where we send my son, and I'm a hater. So as long as we can show that we're doing it better and that we have a more beautiful facility than Cuyamaca, I'm all happy. And so this is just an amazing, long overdue, and I can't wait. And especially in a social justice campus that prides itself making sure that we can provide, you know, affordable healthcare for our students and for, you know, people who are in need. Like, what a huge and important milestone. The fact that it was kind of the last thing is a shame, but I know, you know, we always have, you know, there's so many different factors in, but anyways, I just want to say how excited and enthusiastic I am to have that there.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Excellent point. It is an amazing opportunity. And I only think, Paul, it was last because of the parking lot that the building currently sits in was used for a lot of the other construction. Might have been a challenge to build some of the other buildings if they would have put it up first. But I've also, you know, followed it and admired it going up. It is a great addition to the college. Any other thoughts or questions for Berta? And Berta, I see your hand, Tilly, real quick. Berta, I believe this matter was also approved by the Academic Senate as well.
You know, we did this pre-COVID-19. You know, we started before, like January, February, we were talking about this and, you know, meeting with you and Roxanne, and yeah, I don't know. The pandemic has washed my brain of all the exact details.
Not a problem. And just wanted to, you know, for folks who are listening and for the record, you know, it did go through the college's process. So Berta did a great job of taking it to the Academic Senate, and now we're bringing it here for a vote. And Tilly, I believe you had your hand up.
I was just going to recap on that process too, Ricky, and to say that my documentation shows that it also completed through the review of services on our campus back in February as well on campus. So now it's here. Sorry for the delay. Thank you, though. Thank you, Berta.
Yes. So if there are no any other questions, would someone like to make a motion for the approval of the name change of the Child Development Center?
I move to approve.
Great. Would anyone like to second the motion? Denise has.
I'll second. Oh no, go ahead.
Oh. Well, I think I caught Denise's hand, and if we could,
I will second the motion of this Child Development Center. I'm so excited about this.
Any further discussion? All in favor indicate so by either putting up your hand or raising your hand. Would anyone like to abstain? Anyone in opposition? Great, motion carries. Thank you, Berta. We'll be in contact, and we talked to Tilly about reaching out to Chris Mannis, and we'll and Aaron in my office to place this on the next chancellor's cabinet to move the matter further. Look forward to seeing. I had a chance to tour it when it was about halfway done, and so I'm eager to see what it looks like completed. Thank you, Berta. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Moving right along with the agenda, the next item for approval is the ACC-JC midterm report. I'll turn it over to Dr. Murray.
Thank you. So this was shared with College Council at the last meeting. The draft has been posted and available for comment from the campus. It is essentially a progress report at the midpoint of our accreditation cycle on our own institutional planning and the actions that we have taken to address the improvement recommendations that we have received. So it has been reviewed by all of the campus constituency groups. Both the Academic Senate and the ASG have voted to approve the report. Just due to a shift in meeting timing, I believe the final consideration from Classified Senate is coming later this week. But this is everyone's final meeting of the semester. So we are bringing this for approval of College Council so that it can go forward to the district, be reviewed by Chancellor's Cabinet in January, and then go to the Board of Trustees.
Great. So we've already had a chance to review it. And really this is a progress report update. And so if there are no, well, we'll have an opportunity to discuss. Would someone like to make a motion for approval of the ACC-JC midterm report? Denise?
I move to approve. This is Masa.
So great. So we've got a first by Denise. We got a second by Masa. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, raise your hand, whether it be virtually or in person. Would anyone like to abstain or be in opposition for approval of the midterm report? Tilly gives it a thumbs up, and so do I. Thank you, Dr. Murray. Motion passes.
Ricky, just to let you know, I'm a co-host, so I don't get to raise my hand, so I have to use my thumbs up.
Not a problem. I saw it. It was good to see. Next up is we're going to skip over the equity statement because that's an update. We're going to do the voting items first. I'm going to turn it over to Denise, who is going to present the HSI STEM, I believe, team for approval of the grant.
So often, we have such an amazing team here at City College, and here is just another opportunity of the great work that has happened, principally in the Office of Equity under the leadership of Dean Valadez, and as well Dr. Sanchez, who is our program manager for our Title V grant. And what they're going to do, and I'm going to let them carry forward, they're going to introduce some just amazing faculty here at the campus who have been laser focused for something like 5 or 6 months working on our vision for our Title III STEM grant. And it is amazing. And I just wanted to say, I don't want to say much more because the team, Dr. Lilly, the team is phenomenal in the work that they're doing. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the team.
Thank you, VP Wisenhunt, and everyone for having us one more time here to share updates and some additional information on the Hispanic Service Institution Science, Technology, Engineering, Mathematics grant application. We're in these final stages of the process, at least the internal process within City. And I do want to mention that we do have other folks here in the virtual room, and I want to mention them because they have been so critical in this process. First, Dr. Lorenza Levy definitely has been a strong contributor and advocate with and also for STEM faculty. So really thankful for her work, and also hopefully she doesn't mind because she's so humble about it, but she is the SAGNAS Advisor of the Year. And so we're very lucky to have her and to be part of this initiative. Also, Tammy Bassett, she's been our consultant and the writer of the grant. She's been instrumental in this process in getting us moving forward and getting us organized as well. Diani Melgarejo is also here. She's one of our STEM students. She's part of SAGNAS as well, and she has been a strong student voice in this whole process. Of course, Dean Balader has been part of this whole process as well, and is keeping us as well in the process and all the information that we need. So thank you all to them. And then also we have a larger group. Of course, not everyone could make it, but we did wanted to share some of the information that, again, recapped from the last time that we were here back in October, and then be able to share a few other things. So if I can, I'll share my screen. All right, so here we are now. And so then I'll just go through a few to get everyone on the same page that we went over back in October, but those of you who missed it. So again, if funded, we will go from October 2021 to September 2026. And again, in late spring, early summer, a group of faculty, staff, and students, we met to first revisit the grant that was initially focused on just the HSI piece. And we wanted to include those voices and work done primarily in the fall of 2019. Then we did shift it to the HSI STEM conversation, since that was the update that we received from Tammy in terms of the next round of applications. And then we definitely wanted to reimagine how can we at San Diego City College best support the Chicanx Latinx student success in STEM, but also we wanted to make sure that we build on the success from the current programs and models that already exist at City College, and being able to have the opportunity to look for intentional equity-minded efforts that we can bring or grow at City College, since this is a developmental grant. Through those conversations, we really wanted to make sure that the focus on uplifting the Chicanx Latinx student experience in STEM, and wanted to make sure that we had those cultural responsive components embedded throughout the entire grant. And then once we went through those conversations, and when we came here in October, after that, went to having the different presentations. So here's a list of the places that we went and the people that we met, starting, in September. Again, from some of the members in this group, in College Council, and others, we were able to meet and present the activity overview to all of these folks. And mainly the conversations went really well. We got some good feedback or comments on the activity overview. I think we really wanted to make sure that people knew that we were hoping to get the support on the different components of the activity, knowing that there were a few details that we still needed to address. And one of those pieces, for example, was, the list of courses. We keep moving forward with anything else. I really wanted to open the floor to Dr. Levy, Diani, primarily, who have been helping with these conversations and these presentations, to see if there's any things that you want to share about what you experienced, or some of the things, some of the feedback that you've heard.
Yeah, I was just wondering if anyone here, hi everyone, Professor Levy here. I was just wondering if anyone here had any questions. I know that when we took it to other groups, there was maybe some concerns about some of the courses that we were targeting. And I wanted to address, for example, one of the courses that I wanted to target, which is Astronomy 101. It's not a majors course, but it is a course where our students are introduced into STEM, and that could possibly create a pathway for them into STEM. And even if it does not create a pathway for them to STEM, it creates science literacy amongst our general population, which is so incredibly important to us. So I didn't know if anyone had any questions, comments, concerns about the courses that we were targeting or anything regarding the program.
I think at this point, Dr. Livy, you all have, and again, congratulations on your award and great work.
Thank you.
At this point, really is a matter that has been vetted by those who would have provided that level of feedback. And so if you all could hit the high points in terms of what are the desired outcomes of this grant, and like hearing astronomy, I mean, you definitely got my attention. We know that this grant is so important to create and sustain a pipeline of Latinx, Chicanx, and other students going into science, and you being a great scientist yourself, serving as a role model for other women. We know there's a huge need to get more women into science. So maybe you can hit on some of the high points and the desired plan to integrate ethnic studies into the sciences so that those who are not aware, and then we'll bring this to a vote.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm a firm believer that representation matters. And so a big part of this grant is really having our Latinx students feel represented and feel heard and feel a part of the courses that they take, anywhere from their STEM courses to their general education courses. So by creating kind of these learning communities, you know, the name could be tweaked, but these learning communities where students are taking STEM courses and are also taking a Chicano Studies and Ethnic Studies course, there's a great opportunity there for overlap, and also a great opportunity for us in the STEM fields to integrate culturally relevant science that I think is just so important to our students and to everyone in general. And as far as our target goals, outcomes, I think maybe I'm going to hand that over to Tammy, who has much better vocabulary than I do for these things.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Really what we're driving toward overall with this proposal, we've looked and targeted courses that had high failure rates. So we're looking to improve your course success rates, both just in general, but we've targeted courses that have high failure rates overall, but especially for your Latinx population. They have particularly high failure rates. So the goal would be to increase their success so that you would increase retention and you will increase your graduation rates. So you're really looking at those key student success measures through this proposal. And in addition to targeting courses and the learning communities, you're targeting and developing student success initiatives like a summer bridge. You are getting the word out about science through some of your popular events that you already have on campus. And so you're just really changing your institutional culture to put more emphasis on STEM, letting these students know that they can be part of this, that they can join this pipeline and that they can be successful in it. And you're providing the awareness and the support that will get them through.
Thank you. And thank you, Tammy. And also the support comes in many forms, including the idea of embedding SI tutors into our courses. Hopefully some bilingual tutors, bilingual resources for our students, integration with our Subir Hub, the Science Subir Hub, which also has an overlap with our SOCNIS chapter, where there would be more student support in our building, in our science building, right there for them. They don't have to go across campus. They don't have to go elsewhere. So yeah, just more support for our Latinx students.
I will just say that we're also excited of all the contributions, those voices we could go on and on. I know in the interest of time, we're gonna have to follow that a little bit. But I know, I mean, just to see the work that's been done, it is like when you see our student, I mean, she's amazing. I mean, we're just in a great place. So Dr. Shabazz, I really want to commend the committee and all of its fine work, and I'm sure we want to move forward with some activity.
Yes, thank you all. And so if someone would like to make a formal motion for approval of the concept outlined. And in the future, folks, let's make sure we get the PowerPoint to people prior to the meeting so that they come into the meeting with an opportunity to kind of know. Would someone like to make a motion for approval? I'm seeing a lot of nods.
On behalf of Roberto and small Roberto,
we got a first by Denise. I'm going to say Aaron is a second. Any further discussion? And Dr. Sanchez, if you could send the PowerPoint to Aaron so Aaron can send the PowerPoint out to everyone. If there's no further discussion, all in favor indicate by raising your hand, virtually or otherwise. Is there anyone that would like to abstain and or oppose the matter? Hearing the motion carries. Again, thank you, everyone. I am so looking forward to this work. We really do, as a college, have an opportunity to align our ethnic studies and our sciences to change the lives of some students. And I can't think of a better course, Dr. Levy, having gone and seen some of the pyramids in Mexico and some of the work around astronomy in the cultures that we are targeting. So I absolutely see your point with choosing that course. With that said, you all enjoy the rest of your day. And again, thank you for the work that you all have done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving right along, folks. That those are all of our voting matters. I am going to go back to Denise Wisenhunt, Vice President of Students, and Dr. Murray are going to provide an update on a concept that I fully support, the notion that as a college, we say social justice and equity and inclusion, that we should actually define those terms. And we've also aligned the Diversity Committee, the Social Justice Committee, World Cultures, and I'm forgetting one, and the Equity Committee are all combined into one under the leadership of our great Dean of Equity, Roberto Valadez. And so I'll turn it over to Denise and Susan.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
So what we have happening are kind of multiple strands of conversation merging. There has been a great deal of conversation, professional development around equity and anti-racism in recent months. MPROC had a discussion of how to more explicitly incorporate equity into our program review model. And then the group that you just mentioned, the combination of diversity, world cultures, and equity also has been having conversations. And so what we will be developing with the help of a work group with representation across all of those areas will be some recommendations on a process, probably a summit type of event, and something that will bring people together to have conversations that will lead to formalizing some definitions for City College and making them our own so that we can incorporate them into our own planning. And this may be something that becomes folded into our upcoming strategic plan, since that process is also happening now.
Well said. Yeah, and this is the great work to make sure that those those values are defined in the work that we have and that we intentionally embedded in the work that we do. And what's a really great thing about this is that this is the effort of our improv committee, but really also, Roberto, if you want to add Dean Valadez something too, this is the work of our equity effort. So equity combined with the fact that we need to place equity in every corner of the campus really lends to the idea of having a summit. So we're very excited about that, looking at our definitions, looking at where it is in our value statement, our mission statement, and the work that we do in master planning and program review. So what you're going to hear in time is that we are developing a task force, a short-term temporary group that will disassemble immediately thereafter, because we don't want to have 200 task force. And then we're going to just do some really intentional work, looking at our campus, looking at ourselves, and then doing the good work of making sure that it is in all of our different places. And it's exciting in the middle of our IEP work that we're doing, that we have this opportunity to make sure it's even more embedded in the work that we do. I don't know. Yeah, Dean.
Just want to echo what both Susan and Denise said. We're trying to embed equity into every aspect of our work at City College, and these conversations are having an MPROG, certainly in the integration of our committees, and we're trying to integrate that even in program review. So it's a larger conversation than just both integrating student services and instruction.
And admin services too, everywhere. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Dr. Shabazz.
Great, thank you. And so what ultimately happened is that this will go through our processes and wind back up at College Council for approval. And speaking of approval, thank you to the two colleagues who reached out to me. I did negate to put forth the CARES Act voting matter. And so I'll turn it back over to Dr. Parker. Well, first, are there any questions for Susan or Denise? Right. So what we, again, they outline what we envision that the two committees would work and then bring the matters to the college. I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Parker for an overview of I believe it is the state block grant CARES funds. Folks, there are 3 different CARES funds. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 different CARES funds. And as we did with the other funds, we want to approve the allocation of the funds. In this case, it is the state block grant CARES funds. Dr. Parker.
If we throw in the HSI, I think that would make 5.
Yes, you're right.
Not to confuse anyone. There are a lot of CARES grants out there. This particular one, and most of you already know, for those who don't, just a quick recap of CARES funds is the HERF, Higher Education Economic Relief Fund, granted to higher education institutions. The COVID-19 block grant is about 66% state, Proposition 98, and 34% federal from the Corona Relief Fund, which is part of CARES. We were just recently allocated these funds, approximately $502,000. And legislature did intend that these funds be used, be prioritized for underrepresented students. So the CARES funds can be used for instructional delivery, which can include tutors for students, training for faculty to convert to an online environment, PPE technology, computers, and additional scholarships to students at the discretion of the institution. So we have allocated the $502,000 with budget to include athletic counseling, equipment, microscopes, I know was an order that came through, OER, student workers, and tutoring, and additional funds for the mental health center. So with that, we have, this is an action item to vote, correct, Ricky, on the $502,000. Do we need the exact line item amounts to vote
Yes,
on?
Dr. Parker, are you able to share the original allocation where you had the areas that it was going into?
I am on my home computer on Zoom, and I can do that in a minute if you need me to share.
Or if you, would it work to cut and paste it into the chat so that people could see it? Whichever is easiest for you.
Yes, if you could give me a moment, I can do that.
And while Dr. Parker is bringing that up, I'll talk very briefly about how the funds were allocated. We worked through the vice presidents, the deans, and the chairs, and folks had an opportunity to present proposals for how those funds could be used. Those proposals went through the vice presidents. It actually worked out that the money, there wasn't anything that necessarily got denied as long as it met the requirements. And we want to bring that here as we did vote on the institutional use of CARES. And we'll do the same thing for what we believe will be a second stimulus once our elected officials in the federal government pass a second stimulus. But in the meantime, we work through the chairs, the deans, and the vice presidents to determine where the needs were. I think, Dr. Parker, you may have sent that directly to me. You might want to change the...
Yep, the last one. I'll change to everyone. Sorry about that.
Yeah, and we'll give the vice presidents an opportunity if you all want to share anything specific in the allocation there. You see it's going to both instruction and student services based on the needs outlined by the chairs and the deans. Denise, is there anything you would like to say about the areas that are going to student services?
No, we need these resources.
If I could just add, Ricky, that the NANS for VPA, we actually allocated to DSPS, correct?
Correct. Yes, your team determined that they didn't need a NAN, so we gave that 30,000 to DSPS. Did we? Tilly, anything you would like to add about the instruction allocation?
I think I'll just add what we talked about earlier today, and that is there's a lot of requests and we're trying to help the money go as far as we can. So some of the requests we're relooking at least in instruction, to see what might be able to go into strong workforce dollars to help stretch the other funds a little bit further.
Great. Yeah, so that, and again, thanks, Dr. Parker. What that meant was that the DSPS allocation you see for 30,000 is actually 60,000. And I can't say enough about the great work of Bree and our DSPS team. Folks, please show some empathy for all of our students, but in particular, our disabled students. I'm going to say our abled students. They learn in their own unique way, and we have an opportunity to really support them during this pandemic, because many of them, just like us, never intended to take an online class or have to learn this way. And so this is just a drop in the bucket of the needs that are actually present in our DSPS program. With that said, I'd like to take a motion. There'll still be an opportunity for discussion. I'd like to take a motion for approval of how we're going to allocate the almost $500,000 in state block grant CARES funds. That's a mouthful, Dr. Parker. Would somebody like to make a motion?
Ricky, I would move to make a motion.
Thank you. Robbie has a first. Would someone like to second approval? I see Sean Ryan with a second.
I'd like to second that.
Thank you, Sean. Any further discussion about how these funds are going to be used?
May I ask a quick question?
You can ask 1 or 2 or 3 questions.
So, This is the entire allocation and it's for the 502. So if that's, so the remaining will go towards where?
I think there's a typo there. The counseling number should have been 150.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Aren't we missing, Dr. Parker, 150 for counseling?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, that's why I was. My question
Go
is-
ahead, Jocelyn, with your calculator. I see you.
Yeah. This is
Auditor over
the
there.
2022 money, right?
Yeah.
This is 2022 money?
Yes, this is.
Oh, yes, thank you for mentioning this.
Yeah,
We have until
if
June.
2022, then 150 counseling should be on this.
Yeah. And this is has to be expended by June 2020.
Yeah, please forgive Dr. Parker transitioning just like me, working with multiple laptops. Thank you, Jocelyn. We wanted to make sure somebody was paying attention to these.
It was a test.
Okay.
This is June 2021? Or what was the end date you said, Dr. Parker?
June 30th, 2022.
Oh, okay.
So there's an additional 150,000 for counseling that is specifically for counseling for a summer. I believe our faculty and others will say that we had a major challenge due to COVID and other things with counseling over the summer. And that was because, frankly, because of the state budget, we had a decline in the availability of resources to hire adjuncts and others for the summer. And so the majority of our students who are going to come in the fall are going to come between June and August. And so we allocated 150,000 of these. And Dr. Parker, go ahead and just type it in the chat for this for the discussion. Jocelyn has her calculator over there. So we want to make sure we put it in the. No, thank you, Jocelyn. I'm being facetious, but I actually.
No, I was like, what number is this? Thank you, Jocelyn, because he already heard me with the 150 earlier today.
Well, on behalf of counseling, we say thank you.
Can you say that one more time?
On behalf of counseling, we say thank you.
Just wanted that to be
and
captured.
of course, behalf of our students, we're here for our students.
Thank you.
No, our students don't have enough counselors. And while we have the best counseling department that I've ever worked with, we know even before this pandemic, our students needed access to additional counselors. And so kudos to the team for putting additional resources into counseling. Other questions? I can also tell you as there's discussions now about a second federal stimulus, which would technically be the 7th one, Dr. Parker. Get your information into your vice presidents, your chairs, your deans if you have a need. I know we're going to need to put more resources into athletics. As a matter of fact, an announcement came out today from the chancellor. Sorry, Aaron, we didn't get a chance to connect with you. I'm going to ask Denise to connect with you offline. We've got a lot of work folks to do around athletics for the spring. Our athletes are really struggling not being able to compete and the impacts of them transferring and getting scholarships. And so we've got a lot of work to do in that area. Mental health, Leslie and the team over there is doing an amazing job, but we need to put some more resources into mental health, certainly into professional development for our faculty and everyone who's working with our students. We've got a first, we've got a second. Thank you, Jocelyn. I was being facetious, but I really do appreciate it because there is. Dr. Parker, you gonna put that in the chat? Go on put the 150.
I thought that's what you were being facetious about.
No. Put that in the chat, Dr. Parker. Put that in the chat. Somebody's adding it up.
Well, okay. So and there still be the $32,000, which is for other. That's a contingency.
Thank you. Because something's going to happen. Something's going to break. Somebody's going to need some plexiglass. Something is going to happen. So we got to first say any further discussion. All those in favor indicate by raising your hand, virtually or in person. Would anyone like to either abstain or oppose the allocation? Thank you, Dr. Parker, for putting that 150,000 for counseling there. Masa has a hand raised. Masa?
I just was saying, yes, I support.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you, Masa. With that said, motion carries, and we have one last, I believe, update. And that is Jeannie Tyler providing an update on KSDS. We know we have the best jazz station west of Mississippi, who I receive a number of emails weekly inquiring when are they coming back in person. And Jeannie and Ken put together a great plan, and the plan was for them to be back this week. And then this thing called COVID went to purple. And so I'm going to turn it over to Jeannie to provide an update of what's going on with SDS.
Best laid plans, correct? Let me do a quick share screen here. Apologize for Mr. Sneezy in the background, but that's working from home, right? So, and thank you for accommodating my schedule. Good afternoon, College Council and members of the general community who are watching us via YouTube Live. My name is Jeannie Tyler. I'm the Dean of not off-campus programs. Where was that? Who's that? Wait, what? Where am I? So sorry. I'm the Dean of Arts, Humanities, Communications, and Telecommunications. And I was asked to report on KSDS, but with the work we've been doing, I would be remiss if I didn't give a little update that includes RTVF, because that work currently includes them as well. So here we go. I will. Yes, west of the Mississippi, absolutely the best. We are actually a nationally acclaimed radio station. I have, many of you know, I grew up in New York, and I actually have relatives who tell me that they knew and streamed KSDS before I was even at City or knew of it. So I'm happy to report that. I hope you also all know how to stream it and are potentially members of KSDS. If not, we would welcome you most gladly. So yes, as President Shabazz mentioned, we had been working for a while to get at least the radio hosts live on the air, because we have been getting a lot of interest. I mean, people love it. And when we're at home, I find myself, Google music or YouTube music, and that's what's important. Jazz, 88.3, I'll stream that, because that's what gets us through the day, right? Those comforts when we're at home. So, but again, best laid plans. And so with the current stay-at-home order, we are looking now for January to get just the radio hosts back on campus. And we have a wonderful plan where we would be using alternating studios. They would be there one at a time. And it really is probably the safest way to approach that. So business offices would remain closed, but radio hosts back live. So please watch for that. I have a feeling we'll probably do an announcement and some social media announcement when we're actually ready. I'm hoping that President Shabazz will join us on the day of and give a few words of encouragement and welcome everybody back. I would like to say that even though we're remote, the staff has been working remotely. They continue to work, and what we've done is we've just slid some duties. Even though we've been closed and do an automated program, they continue to raise funds. I almost weekly go to the campus with checks that need to be deposited. So whoever our listeners or members are out there, and if you've donated, thank you from the bottom of my heart for your continued support of KSDS. We've had the engineers come to respond to technology needs on site. We have a huge social media presence, which is what some of our radio hosts are now doing since they cannot be live. And then administrative duties, paying the bills, writing POs, all of that continues. So the staff certainly has been very busy. One of the, I don't want to use the dreaded word tasks, but one of the joyful tasks we were given over this past year was to really take a look at KSDS, and we have some work to do. We need to recognize that they really are a gold star for our institution and that they are a member of our college community. And so we want to help them along. And so the wonderful idea was broached of establishing a non nonprofit branch for KSDS that would serve as the fundraising arm for them. So that is well underway. In fact, that nonprofit board has already met several times this fall, and we have some lingering tasks out there, but we're working swiftly with our HR legal to look at some remaining items and making sure that we're doing everything lockstep in the way we need to. But I'm really excited. That the radio station as part of the school was a boon for me, because it has brought me into a world of supervision and management that I just never been involved with before, and it's been awesome. Those are the KSDS. So then what I was referencing in regards to RTVF was that over the summer, KSDS staff has been meeting with RTVF and actually DJRN faculty to talk about closely aligning the curriculum that we have with radio. The first R in RTVF is radio. And folks, we have, again, a nationally acclaimed radio station on our campus. So why aren't our students involved a little more in the radio station? I understand that they were heavily at times in the past, and we all know that activities can ebb and flow and we get onto something else, but we're bringing that back around. We're coming full circle. And mostly radio is a CTE program for us. So we want to ensure that our students have the complete training to be able to enter the workforce once they complete us. And a lot of students come to us, and of course they want to be the live on-air host. But there are many other jobs associated with a radio or broadcasting station that we can provide them that information and that training, to include being a station manager. Ken Poston, I'm sorry, I was so remiss in not mentioning Ken in the last slide. Ken Poston is our station manager for KSDS, and he's been with the college for 5 or 6 years now. And Ken eats, sleeps, and breathes jazz, and we're wonderfully lucky to have him along and leading those efforts. And Ken was one of the staff members that the faculty met with. In fact, if you go to our catalog, several of our radio classes mention KSDS or SDS, the student radio station, directly in the curriculum. So again, we need to just recognize what we already have on the books as far as curriculum, and then really doing what we said we would do. So in addition to station manager, there's operations manager, right? There's engineering. There's other opportunities other than playing music for students. We're looking at internships. We hope to get back to our students doing some live weather and traffic updates on air, which, what an exciting opportunity for our students if they were able to do that to a radio station that's streamed nationally, right? And then actually, hopefully we'll be invited to College Council in the spring, because RTVF and DJRN have their own exciting news to share, and that is that they're looking at merger and rebranding their curriculum, and I put TBD there. So that's just a little teaser, so that when you see us on the agenda next time, you'll be sure to come back and see what that presentation is about. But this really is about, oh, and then we want to look at adding podcasting to the student radio station in collaboration with City Times and News Scene. So it's really recognizing that we have an invaluable resource on our campus, and then bringing it into the fold, so to speak, and aligning it with our curriculum to give our students really the best live experience possible as it relates to a radio station. And that's the end of my report. Ricky, was there anything that you wanted highlighted that I may have forgot? You're muted.
Sorry about that. No, Jeannie, thank you. Appreciate everything you do, and certainly the radio station, KSDS, is an amazing resource for the college. Wanted to provide those on College Council and those watching via YouTube with an update. Are there any questions for Jeannie? And Jeannie, if you wouldn't mind unsharing, there we go. Thank you. Any questions for Jeannie?
I only have a simple one, and that is, Jeannie, were you able to share this PowerPoint with us as well?
You mean like the actual file?
Yeah.
So I emailed it to Aaron Flanagan,
Okay.
and I copied you on it, but if you want me to send it to everybody here, I
think Aaron will take care of it.
And
Okay.
thank you, Jeannie, for following the process.
She's a role model.
That's my middle name. Didn't you know? It's Jeannie Process Tyler.
I like it. I like it.
Okay. Again, so
any questions for Jeannie?
Wonderful work, Jeannie. Thank you for your leadership.
Absolutely.
No, yeah, thank you for this opportunity. For everyone listening, happy holidays, and be well and be safe. And if you do have questions later, you know how to reach me.
Yes, thank you, Jeannie.
Thank you, Ricky. Thanks, Tilly.
Let me also bring acknowledgement to Sean Ryan. This may be his last official meeting, and he is the vice president of the Classified Senate. Juana has been away on a special professional development, and Sean, you have served your colleagues well. Want to just acknowledge your great work. Certainly, you're always welcome. And between Sean and Eric, they are such a big part of our college. A lot of times behind the scenes. So, you know, Sean, I appreciate every time I've come up with a crazy idea, you and Eric and Majda and Robbie have obliged my crazy ideas. So thank you, Sean, for your leadership and for joining us on College Council. I believe Awana is going to be returning maybe in the spring in our next meeting.
Yeah, we'll see. Thank you for having me. You all know how to reach me, and you'll all be seeing me in various meetings and capacities. So it's been a pleasure working with you all this semester.
Great, thank you, Sean. And again, please extend our appreciation to the entire classified team, our classified professionals. You all are such a big part of our college, and you all are heroes and essential workers as well. We are approaching 4 o'clock, folks. We've got 2 minutes. Are there any updates for the good of the order? Yes, Sean.
I want to quickly give an update and a gracious thank you to our campus community. We have had a phenomenal adoptive family this year. It's been the biggest response we've had, both in terms of donations and students that applied. So I want to thank everybody who donated, and I want to thank everybody who directed students to the application. We are handing out gift certificates for Walmarts for families, students with families that need for this holiday season. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean. And again, thank you for the classified professionals and Senate for what you did for those very deserving families. If there are no other updates, let me first thank everyone who attended our holiday event. The team put together an amazing event. People showed up with their animals and their sweaters, and you know, so good to see our City College family. Nearly 200 people showed up on a Zoom. Who says this Zoom can't be fun? I saw some outfits and sweaters. I still think Marciano had the best sweater, although he wasn't in the contest. So thank you to everyone. Susan, were you going to chime in with something? Was it any other updates? Well, if there are no other updates, folks, let me say happy holidays. You all killed it, had an amazing semester in less than desirable conditions. Thank you for everything our wonderful City College family does to support our students and our community. There are a number of things that are transpiring. Take a look at the Chancellor's update that came out today. A lot of information about athletics and how we're planning for the pandemic. Be safe. Don't believe the hype. Wear your mask, please. This is real, and we want to keep every one of you and your family safe over these holidays. Be well, everyone. Happy holidays, and we'll see you in the next Zoom meeting. Take care.
Happy holidays.